Welcome to this episode of the Recall Network. Today I'm talking to Gillian Kelleher, CEO of Kelleher Consultants. Hello and welcome to this episode of the Recall Network. Today it is my great honor to talk to Gillian Kelleher, who's going to introduce herself for you so you know exactly where she's coming from and where her knowledge is coming from as well. So, Gillian, please go ahead.
Hi, Stephanie. Thank you for inviting me today. Delighted to be here again with you. Um, for those who don't know me, my name is Gillian Kelleher, and I'm CEO of Kelleher Consultants, a company that helps our clients build sustainable food safety and quality programs with a focus on prevention. I am a long time industry person, all the various sectors of the industry, more recently on the retail side of things, many years with Wegmans Food Markets, but also with Grand Metropolitan in Ireland, England, France, US, throughout my career. And I'm delighted to be here today to speak to you on the topic of Alliance for Recall Ready Communities, something I'm passionate about and really believe in. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm glad you were able to take the time. Yes, exactly. You already mentioned it. Today we talk about the Alliance for Recall Ready Communities, which has just, well, how I don't really know when it was founded, but it's not that long ago, right?
2023, not that long ago.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. So, well, let's jump right in. Why was it founded? What's the backstory behind it?
Sure. For those people working in the industry a long time, they came to the realization there was a small group of people that were at the kind of cusp of how this all formed. And they came to the realization that recalls can't be done in a vacuum. They're much more effective when they're done in a supply chain type approach. So early on, there was a concept paper that was written by some great like leaders in the industry. I'm thinking Alison Jennings, she's now with Meyer. I'm thinking Adam Johnson, he's with Ecolab. Roger Hancock, of course, he's with Recall Infolink, and a slew of not a slew, about four or five others individuals, and that became kind of the base for an idea or a vision
Mhm.
of how this might be. And from there, the alliance that was shared actually in Barcelona at the GFSI conference by Roger, I believe, with Howard Popola from Kroger was on the in panel, and perhaps I think maybe Nestle might have been in the panel, but this was back in like 2022 kind of thing. And from there, the alliance to support all of that and make it a reality came into place in 2023. I got asked, and I'll probably share some of that with you later, to be part of the steering committee. I'm honored to do so. I believe in improving and modernizing that recall process for consumers, and that's how it all came to happen.
Yeah, it's a great story and a great journey for the alliance itself. And I mean, I don't know that much about it. I read the concept paper, and I'm of course familiar with one or two minor things.
Yep,
So can you share a little bit more about how it's structured, how it works, how it's set up?
sure.
Yeah, and how it was also what I think is very interesting, how it was accepted by the industry, how the reactions were maybe by the companies you've reached out to.
Sure. So the way it's structured is there is a steering committee, okay, and that comprises three of us. Darren Detweiler, who is well known in the industry, huge consumer advocate, a huge proponent or supporter of food safety, and Roger, longtime expert, I would say, in recall management. I actually met Roger at the Food Protection Committee with FMI years and years ago when he was with Albertsons. So he and I go back a long way. And then I was asked, would I be part of the steering committee? And I was honored to do so. So we have that steering committee. And then below us, we have a co-leaders of three work groups. And the co-leaders are all strong, very strong individuals, very committed to this topic. And you have for the process, so the recall process work group, you have Adam Johnson from Ecolab, you have Alison Jennings from Meyer, and they co-lead that process group. And when we say we have three subgroups, they all work together. There's overlap. People can be part of all three groups. We keep each other apprised of what's going on. So that's the first group. And I was asked to be the supporter, if you will, for that group. Okay. So the next up is the data standardization, excuse me, work group. And that one is led by Rishi Banerjee from Consumer Brands Association and Amin, and his last name escapes me right now. That's not good.
Mohachir. Mohachir.
Pardon me?
Mohachir. I mean,
Mohajir, Amin Mohajir from Chief Technical Officer for Recall Infolink, and their group is focused heavily on data standardization and the data set that's needed to effect accurate recalls. So that's a great group right there, and they with a very specific mission. Again, we have that overlap going on. And the third group is around recall simulation. So how can you practice to be ready for recalls? Not mock recalls, not one up, not one down. This is like with your supply chain. How can you be ready when stuff happens and how can it be that way? It can be the most effective, the most accurate, the most concise it can be for the industry, for your own company, and certainly for the consumer.
mhm, mhm. I think one thing we haven't mentioned or yeah, yet, what
Sure.
exactly is the goal? What are you hoping to accomplish? What do you want to change? Or yeah, if you could share that.
Um, by having a mindset of a recall ready community, in industry, stuff happens, all right? There will be a recall. It's how you handle it is the thing. And in the US, the FDA are acknowledging that recall modernization is sorely needed. Industry is stepping up big time. This is a really good example of that. There are other initiatives underway. Think of Stop Foodborne Illness
Yeah.
and their recall modernization work group. Think American or the Association of Food and Drug Officials and their white paper that they came out on recalls. Everybody's seeing the need for different aspects of the recall process to be improved. In the instance of the Alliance for Recall Ready Communities, what it is that we know there are opportunities to have way more timely, accurate, and effective audits completed, not just like, crisis mode. Oh, we got a recall. How are we going to react? But be ready. Be
Yeah.
ready and be ready with your partners in your supply chain. Be ready with those you interact with. Because in real life, when you have a recall, that's what you're doing. You're on the phone, you're in contact with those individuals all the time. Prepare for it. Be ready up front. So that's the dream. That's the vision of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay. And we're on a mission with like-minded trade associations, organizations, companies, regulatory folks. Everybody is welcome. This is driving improvement in the recall process for the consumer, and we're not favoring. Everybody has ideas. Anybody who's the will to join us, you're more than welcome.
And I think this is almost a one of a lifetime thing that you have so many different companies, maybe in the retail area or in the
Yep.
manufacturer area, come together, sit on one table, and discuss such an important topic. I mean, usually there is competition, people don't want to share their information or their
Yeah.
knowledge, but this time everyone was open and said, well, yes, this is something we really need to focus on and we really make the process better. We need to make recall simulations better. We need to find a way. And also we need to not forget about global supply chains. And this
Sure.
is kind of like building the bridge to to Europe or the rest of the world, really, because as you already mentioned, supply chains are global. And
Yeah.
so what we really need is a global approach. And I know that there is at least a very first European company that has joined, or not a company, it's an association.
Yeah.
It's ENFIT. And can you share a little more why it is so important to have companies or associations or auditors or regulatory bodies from other countries join as well?
Sure. First, I would start with why it's important to have anyone interested in this topic at the table, and then I'll take it to the European example you just gave. So, everyone has a different perspective on what needs to be done to modernize recalls. everyone has their own experience in their own company or in their own association, or if they're a certification program owner, if they're an insurance company. There's a whole lot of people at the table here. If you're a trade association, it's because you have an interest in this topic. You see that there's improvement needed, so you come together and you give up the time. It's not a huge draw on your time, and we're very structured and we're very transparent, and endeavoring, and we're learning as we go. All right.
Yeah.
So we have regular updates, we have work groups. People might transition from one work group to another. They might want to be on two. That's fine. That's
Yeah.
okay. So now building on that, that's all newish. Like we started late 2023, but by the time we launched the work groups, now that we have our first international, from Germany, international company part of it, terrific. That's terrific. We can learn from those people at the table. They can learn from us. If you look at the retailer perspective, retailers source ingredients and food products from all over the world.
Yeah.
All right, you mentioned it. Supply chains are truly global, and you have all the actors along the supply chain, and we have wholesalers represented, we have retailers, manufacturers, of course, and we have then all of the we have service providers, we have consultants who live in this space, and we have some super people in our teams, in our co-leads as well. With that, that's how we welcome anybody to join us. Delighted to have our first European contributor, and now we're turning global, right? That's the dream. Global is the way to go for the consumer, raise the bar across the board.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and as many views and different yeah approaches you get to put together and discuss and talk about and yeah, get to experience, the better it is, I think, because there are so many things that are specific to areas or countries
Yeah,
or industries, and so I think this is really great, how open you are, how welcoming you are, and I think people reaching can watching this interview can be reaching out to you and get more information. But maybe
sure.
we should add that it is free of cost to join.
Yep.
You kind of pay with your participation and sharing
Yep.
your knowledge. That is, yeah, how you engage with
Yep.
the alliance. So one last question, Gillian. If you were given a magic wand for the alliance, what what would you do with it? What would you wish for it to accomplish?
Okay, I'm going to take you back before I answer that cool question. Um, we have our own website right
Yeah.
now, recallreadycommunities.org. Anybody, anytime can go take a look at that, see what we do. It's all out there, our groups, our member, everything that we've done so far that we've accomplished. So if I had the um, magic or the wand to wave that magic and make it all happen. Um, in the three groups, we have the process group, okay, we have the data standardization group, and we have the recall simulation group. Um, in some instances, and this is just fine, we're having to take a step back to go forward, because to engage everyone, to have everyone feel comfortable, everyone has a voice at the table, to feel comfortable, you have to level set and build from there. So the magic wand will help us go faster, of course. All
Yeah.
right, but at the same time, we want to do it right. So with GS1's engagement with our data standardization group and all the right players there, and they're moving forward. The process group had a wonderful head start because the leads there also worked way back on the concept paper. So there's something there that we can build upon and share with the other groups.
Hmm.
And the simulation one, the precedent is set. There are models out there around recall simulation done very effectively. But for example, making the distinction between a recall plan and a recall simulation, all that sort of thing is all in play right now. So the magic wand would make it go faster. How's that?
That's a very good wish. So, well, thank you very much, Gillian, for your time and for kind of taking us with you into the world of the Alliance for Recall Ready Communities. I think it's a wonderful alliance that you guys have come up with. It's welcoming. It needs to be accepted, and it needs participants from all over the world to make it work and to achieve all that is set out to achieve, and make recalls easier, make recall simulations more accepted in that way, and just make food more safe for everyone on the globe. So
Sure.
thank you very much. Yeah,
Can I add one last thing that I had meant to say
absolutely.
earlier? When I mentioned the work group leads, so we had Adam and we have Alison, and then we had Rishi and we had Amin. We also had two other excellent co-leads in Amy Philpott on the simulation side of things, and also Patrick Guzzle from National Restaurant Association. So those are the two leads in that group, and I don't. It would be selling them short not to mention them as well.
Of
Okay.
course. Oh, of course. Yeah, absolutely. So thank you
Okay.
very much, Gillian, for telling or sharing all of that, and all the best for the alliance. Keeping my fingers crossed that you'll have plenty of new members very soon from all over the world to share their knowledge and their experience with you, and yeah, be a good add-on and great participants in this alliance. So thank you
Thank you for
very
the
much.
opportunity, Stephanie.
Well, of course,
And
Gillian. Always my pleasure.
we welcome people who have the same mission as us and the same commitment. So thank you.
Well, you're very welcome. Thank you. Bye bye.
Okay. Bye bye.
This has been today's episode of the Recall Network. Thank you for your attention and see you again soon. Bye.